This is how my morning started out, by being robbed. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week. So, came to work this morning and it's a little crazy, actually. About 20 years ago, when they were redoing the parking lot and the road was being expanded out front, we set a barrel out here by the road to sort of line where the parking lot entrance started. Came to work this morning and somebody stole the barrel, which was crazy odd because, you know, I don't even know how they got it. But yeah, so now I have this huge mess I get to clean up right here at the entrance of the property. Great. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. Do not go anywhere because today I am going to show you the most cheaply built chainsaw I have ever seen. Customer brought it into the shop this week saying that the oiler didn't work, but boy oh boy does he have more problems than just his oiler. But before we jump into today's video, if you're a fan of saving time, money, and frustration while fixing your own small engine equipment with in-depth tutorials, you've come to the right place because that's what I do. I upload a couple times a week, and if that sounds interesting, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Now, don't get me wrong, chainsaws, they're sold at a price point. Depending on what you've got to get done and how much money you have to spend, that's the chainsaw that you're going to get. And I am not dogging cheap chainsaws by any means when it comes to some of the brands like Pooching and the Home Lights and the Remingtons. I mean, if that's what you can afford and that's, you know, will take care of the job that you need it to, by all means, get that. But I can tell you, whatever you do, stay away from this chainsaw. Do not buy it. The customer brought it in this week telling me that his oiler was not working, that it ran just fine, but would not oil the bar. So the first thing I did check the running, and he was correct. It starts right up and runs great, but was not oiling at all. I did notice some oil coming out of the bottom of the chainsaw though, where it shouldn't be coming out. And let's see what's going on. Alrighty, so what we have here today is a Coocheer 5800 professional chainsaw. It is made in China. You can find this saw on Amazon for $149.99. It comes with an 18-inch bar with a 325 pitch chain. And you would think that, yeah, it might get done with the job that you need it to, but unfortunately, after you see what issues this saw has, you are going to want to stay away from it. So I did start it up and run it first thing to check to make sure that it was not oiling, and it wasn't. There was no oil coming out of this way, but it was pouring out the bottom of the chainsaw. And this is actually a port to where you can adjust it if you would like, right down there to give it less or more bar oil. But it was just pouring out nonstop. So the first thing I do, I get a piston stop, put it up in there, and I'm going to take the clutch off. Now that was my first sign that something was really wrong with this chainsaw because it was one of the hardest clutches I have ever taken off before. And whenever it goes on the saw, it's actually like this because it has a gear on the spur sprocket that goes into this plastic worm gear right here that spins everything, sort of like the Husqvarna design. But as I was taking it off, it felt like it was cross-threaded, something serious. And when I look inside, it sort of looks cross-threaded, but at the same time, it looks like it had some kind of Loctite on there, which these don't have Loctite on them. That was just something a little bizarre, but every single turn had to come off with me tapping it nonstop until the very end. It was the hardest clutch I've ever had to take off. So we know something's wrong with that. So we get here and we see that where that gear on that sprocket does go in to turn this, it's completely wore out and melted on the inside. And then when we take this cover off with the worm gear, you can see the inside of that's all wallered out. This cover here is completely melted on both sides, so that's not going to run correctly, and that's, you know, all melted on that side. But the needle bearing that came out too is the most junkiest, cheaply made needle bearing I've ever seen. It's really just like a bushing, and it does have little rollers in there, but they're not going against anything. It's not I don't understand it at all. It really is more of a bushing than an actual roller bearing. It makes no sense to me. But that's not even the worst part. So as I'm just sitting here watching all the bar oil pour out this side, I figured it hopefully was one of the lines, but it was not. I go to look a little further, and the crankshaft seal is pooched out on one side. It's coming out of the chainsaw. I have never, ever, in the thousands of chainsaws that I have taken apart, seen a crankshaft seal pooching out like that on one side. The other side looks flush. This side is pooching out of the saw. Along with the oiler is locked up, so it needs an oiler, a little side plate, a worm gear, and I mean, there's one place online that I found that sells parts, and that's about $50 worth of parts to fix this $149 saw. I'm gonna have to charge, you know, my $37.50 labor. That's getting close to $100. So I don't think I'm gonna fix this saw for this guy. I'd be afraid that we could put all that money into it and it's just gonna do the same thing because it is not well built at all. Next, let's get over here to this cylinder and check it out. So the spark plug itself almost felt like it had some kind of Loctite on it when I took it apart, but check this cylinder out. You could actually take a little pick and it wasn't even finished like getting the gook out. It just breaks apart. That's nice. I can't really get under there to show you, but the plastic has actually melted to the top of the cylinder. I do have to give credit where credit's due though. It's got one nice handle on it. I mean, it is metal and it's got this nice rubbery grip to it. Very comfortable, but that's about it. If you look down here at the engine housing, this is some very, very poorly made cast. I mean, it's very junky. And then the muffler, it's like, I mean, I know I can't let you feel or hear it pretty much on video, but it's like wafer thin. Well, that's it, guys. Hopefully this video saves you time, money, and frustration in the future. And whatever you do, stay away from the Coocheer 5800 Amazon saw from China. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like and subscribe, and also leave a comment. I love to read through the comments. Tell me, what do you think is the most junkiest saw? Also, check out our Chickanic.com store where we have hoodies, t-shirts, and long sleeve shirts. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Chickanic or on Instagram at @TheRealChickanic, where you will see things that I do not post on other social media. Thanks, and have a great day.